Welcome to the AI Applied podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Each week, I cover breaking AI news, tools, and interview experts giving you actionable tips on applying AI into your career, job, workflows, and life. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really appreciate it. ChatGPT just got caught up in a big controversy. So today on the podcast, we're going to talk about what it is. They've actually made some, what I think, significant changes to ChatGPT. And I'm hoping that they're going to revert many of these, and hopefully some of these won't last for too long. But essentially what happened was a number of, I believe this was a week or 2 weeks ago, I saw a bunch of articles and a bunch of posts on Reddit and other places where people were claiming essentially they could go to companies like the New York Times or other journalists that had paywalled content. They could post the link to that paywalled content into ChatGPT and say, you know, give me all the content on this page. So if you ever hit a paywall, you just use the link and ChatGPT could go and grab you the information. Now, there's a couple different interesting ideas around this. One being the fact that OpenAI probably paid for some sort of mass subscription, potentially, to access all the paywalled content on all the different journals. That wouldn't be very far off. Of course, there's some people that say, oh, maybe OpenAI just paid for like one premium account on all the different services and was using that to scrape, but I find that highly unlikely. I'm sure they have some sort of API access to some of those bigger ones in order to get around paywalls and whatnot. But in any case, a lot of people were using it for that. And so in response to that, ChatGPT has just made a massive announcement, and they've completely disabled the internet browsing, the Bing internet browsing plugin from ChatGPT. You can no longer use ChatGPT to crawl the internet, which was literally the best part about GPT-4. One of the best features it had, period, that I always had enabled. It would be useful for a lot of different things. And of course, Google Bard actively does that as well. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. But right now, if you go to ChatGPT and try to get it to do something, it has a pop-up on ChatGPT if you're in GPT-4 that says, we've temporarily disabled the Browse with Bing beta feature. They link you over to one of their blog posts, which is just a couple sentences long. But essentially it says, ChatGPT Browse with Bing is a beta feature available to ChatGPT Plus subscribers that allows ChatGPT to search the internet to help answer questions that benefit from recent information. We have learned that the GPT browser beta can occasionally display content in ways we don't want. For example, if a user specifically asks for a URL's full text, it might inadvertently fulfill this request. As of July 3rd, 2023, we've disabled the Browse with Bing beta feature out of an abundance of caution. While we fix this in order to do right by content owners, we are working to bring beta back as quickly as possible and appreciate your understanding. Now, my personal take on all of this is I think this is a big overstep that they have to disable the entire plugin. I'm assuming that the ability that Bing has to scrape content from paywalled accounts, okay, so I guess here's the one caveat to this. Bing may have a special license, essentially, whereas a web browser like Google, Bing is able to go and scrape all the content on the paywalled accounts or the paywalled pages. And so then it's essentially just using its like web crawler capabilities to display the content for free. If that's the case, I would say this is kind of shady. Well, I guess not shady. If that's the case, well, number one, it's shady, but number two, it shouldn't be. It might be actually harder to undo this, but the other thing is if they're just using some sort of API to, like the Wall Street Journal, where they have some sort of mega enterprise account that allows them to display this kind of information, then they should just turn that off and not display any paywall information, and the problem will be solved. What I suspect, though, is that it might be special access they have because Bing is a web browser specifically. So this isn't like if, OpenAI created their own plugin to access all the content on the internet. essentially their own web browser, their web crawler. That I think would be a little bit easier because they would just have it set to not, scrape anything paywalled. In any case, this is a big deal for a lot of people. It is very inconvenient when they pull access to something like this. And I think that this is just another reason why it is so important with AI to not have these giant monolithic companies that essentially have all of the access and all the power in AI. ChatGPT is by and large the one-stop shop for text to AI. Of course, we have Google Bard that's coming up, and I think that is very healthy. I would love to see hundreds and thousands of different AI models in this space playing a big role, because when one pulls a very critical feature like this browse feature, which people may have been building into different tools, it really can throw a wrench into people's product or their workflows and what they're trying to do. So it is fairly inconvenient. Now, I will say something interesting. They've obviously tweeted this out as well, and a lot of people have responded to this tweet, which is interesting. Someone, Jeff Kurtakis, said, inadvertently fulfill this request. Seems like a feature, not a bug. Other LLMs are going to provide this regardless. An open internet is a net positive. Paywalled sites will fall. There's other places to get the same information for free. I mean, that's your opinion, but also at the end of the day, a paywalled site is a paywalled site. And if they have a paywall, you have to pay for it or go somewhere else. And I know people are like, it shouldn't be free, let's get around it. But like, they paid someone to create that content. So I'm not going to argue with that. It's paywalled, it's paywalled. So it should cost money. If, Jeff made his website that had a paywall on it, I'm sure he would like people to pay for his site if that's what he's asking them to do. In any case, and it's not like a lot of these paywalled sites, when they're doing like news stories, it's not like you can't just go and find 5 other places. Now, something that's interesting is I actually tried this hack a while ago when I found out about it. And I wasn't actually able to be successful in that. Posting the link in, it was a New York Times article that was paywalled, and it said, sorry, there's an error. It wouldn't let me essentially view the article like I was trying to test it out and see if it would work. And so what I did instead was I took the title of the article, posted it in and said, go find this article online and give me the entire transcript of the article or whatever. And it was able to do it when I said that. So there's a couple workarounds, which of course there's no such thing as a workaround when the entire capability of searching on the internet with ChatGPT is taken down. So I'm very curious to see what moves they make in this regard. And the other thing is, it's not like they just outright banned the entire feature today. But what's interesting is, this isn't like a new feature. People have been talking about this for a little while now. It's kind of been this like hack. So I'm not sure if ChatGPT, if it got to a boiling point where they felt like they had to take an action. I'm not sure what the tipping point was. If they just found out about it and decided to do it, which would be kind of funny if, if they don't have their ears in all of the different Reddit forums and different places where people are trying new features. I imagine with $10 billion, they really should have a team that is kind of all over the internet looking at what's trending on Twitter and Reddit, weeks and weeks ago, and bring that to their attention. But in any case, I really hope they bring this feature back very soon, because it was a major reason why a lot of people are paying for GPT-4 and ChatGPT Premium. In any case, I did want to bring up the fact that The Economist, in a paywalled article, ironically, wrote an article called Artificial Intelligence is Reaching Behind Newspapers' Paywalls. And essentially in the article, they're saying that publishers have long accused tech firms of profiting from their content, and now they have a point where they're saying, essentially a lot of AI was trained off of paywalled content, right? Like right now, they're shutting off the Bing thing and saying like, okay, we're not going to show people paywalled content. But if you think about it, ChatGPT was probably trained, because they used Bing's web scraper, was probably trained off of all of this now paywalled content for the New York Times and every other journalist. So this article actually came out back in March. So this is not a new issue, right? People have been kind of talking about the controversy around this problem for a while. And it seems like now it has kind of come to a boiling point. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they move forward with this. If they try to pull out paywalled content from their AI model, which I believe would be incredibly hard, nigh impossible, and what they try to actually do with the current situation with the plugin that is now completely banned. So really hoping that comes back, and we will follow up and see when this new feature comes back and how they actually plan on addressing this situation in the future. If you are looking for an innovative and creative community of people using ChatGPT, you need to join our ChatGPT creators community. I'll drop a link in the description to this podcast. We'd love to see you there, where we share tips and tricks of what is working in ChatGPT. It's a lot easier than a podcast, as you can see screenshots, you can share and comment on things that are currently working. So if this sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the comment. We'd love to have you in the community. Thank you for tuning in to the AI Applied podcast. Make sure to rate this wherever you listen to your podcasts, and have a fantastic rest of your day.